When they came to the place that is called the Skull, they crucified Jesus there with the criminals, one on his right and one on his left. Then Jesus said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. On November 10th, 1940, over 400 German bombers led an all-night attack on the city of Coventry in the middle of England. The objective was to destroy its industrial base and to terrorize the people with a type of extreme bombing that had never happened before. The fire department was so stretched in their ability to try to do what was necessary that they were not able to stop the cathedral ceiling from catching on fire. And finally, it burned badly enough that it just crashed down. And everything in the cathedral was reduced to rubble, except for the tower and some of the surrounding walls. There's a famous picture of the dean of the cathedral walking through the rubble just after that with Winston Churchill, and I brought it in and put it up in the hall under the clock, so you might want to go and take a look at that famous picture of Churchill and the dean walking through the rubble of Coventry Cathedral after it had been bombed and reduced to rubble. The area where the altar had been was still standing, and they put together a cross with the charred beams and took some stones and made an altar. And eventually the dean had these words inscribed behind where the altar had been: "Father, forgive." And people said, don't you mean Father, forgive them? Forgive those Germans who bombed our city and destroyed our cathedral? Don't you mean forgive them? And he said, no. Father, forgive. Forgive all of us. Well, eventually a new cathedral was built right beside the ruins of the old one. And the old cathedral is now, the ruins of the old cathedral are now like a plaza or a courtyard that you walk through to get into the new cathedral. It's absolutely stunning and brilliant how it was put together. And that where the altar was in the ruins of the old cathedral is still there. And those words, Father, forgive, are still inscribed there. And every Friday at noon, the time of Jesus' crucifixion, every Friday at noon, people from all around the world gather there and pray for reconciliation. And there's a simple and short litany of reconciliation associated with that observance and with Coventry that people also pray around the world. And I would like to end with that. And I invite you to join in the response after each petition, which goes back to those words at the altar at Coventry, which go back to the words of Jesus from the cross: Father, forgive. All have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. The hatred which divides nation from nation, race from race, class from class, Father, forgive. The covetous desires of people and nations to possess what is not their own, Father, forgive. The greed which exploits the work of human hands and lays waste the earth, Father, forgive. Our envy of the welfare and happiness of others, Father, forgive. Our indifference to the plight of the imprisoned, the homeless, and the refugee, Father, forgive. The lust which dishonors the bodies of men, women, and children, Father, forgive. The pride which leads us to trust in ourselves and not in God, Father, forgive.